Hello everyone, welcome to another Exchange 2019 video. My name's Ed, and in this video we are going to hack Exchange using the ProxyShell exploit, also known as CVE-2021-34473. Please take note that this video is for educational purposes only, to show you how an attacker can exploit a vulnerable Exchange server and gain access to your environment. So the first thing we're going to do is launch Metasploit, which I have done already. And we're going to search for ProxyShell in Metasploit. As mentioned, there are many courses available for Metasploit that you can learn about. So once I've typed in search ProxyShell and pressed enter, you can see we only have one exploit available to us, or one module. I can type in use 0 and press enter, and it will default to the 64-bit interpreter reverse TCP shell. Now this shell in my lab does not work, so what we're going to do is we're going to change the payload to the one that does work, which is Windows shell bind TCP. And the next step we have to do is configure the options. So if I type in options and press enter, we're going to be configuring email, our hosts, and then our we'll be able to run it. The default one once you configure our host. So the first step first is I'm going to set the R host to my IP address of my vulnerable server. I'm going to set the email to this user, which is a vulnerable user because the credentials have been leaked. And then if we look at the options again, we shouldn't have anything else to configure, and we should be able to run the exploit. What this exploit does is it actually assigns the mailbox import export role to that user. And you can see here it lists that. It also tells us the target is vulnerable, and this is the CVE that I mentioned that we are attacking or exploiting, and this is the server we're attacking. You can see it lists my internal server name. So this does take a couple of seconds to actually assign the role. And while we wait for that, on the other side on my Exchange server, it is going crazy on the Windows Defender side of things. Windows Defender doesn't actually block it. Let's try this again because it did work earlier. Let's run it again. There we go. Sometimes you just have to do it twice or a few times. So you can see that it does successfully assign the role. There's the actual SID of the mailbox, user one at TLab. It drafts an email with this attachment with a web shell. Let's just run it again. So these exploits, if you have the time, you will get it right. We can change our user to a different user, and let's try and run it. So as you can see, sometimes the stuff works, other times it doesn't work. If we look at our payloads, we can try a different payload as well. Let us try a 64-bit version of this. I'm actually going to try a interpreter shell because, like I say, sometimes it works, other times it doesn't work. So we set our payload. Let's just double check our options again. I'm going to set it back to user one at TLab. And then I'm going to exploit it again. Just give it a second. While we're doing that, I'm just going to check the backend on the mailbox import export role, and let's see if it's going to error out right now. Okay, so it looks like we're getting somewhere. Let's see. And there we go. Um, if I type, okay, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So let me explain what's happened here. So user one was assigned the import export mailbox role. A mail was drafted, it writes it to this location. So wherever Exchange is installed, you have an ASPX file. It then triggers the payload. It starts a handler, and you can see now it removes the role again, removes the draft email, but we are full admin on the system, just like proxy not shell, just like proxy logon. Again, this is to demonstrate how easy it is for an attacker to get access to a vulnerable Exchange server that is exposed to the internet. You can take this exploit a bit further. You don't have to specify the email under the options. It will actually go and look under this public IP. This is your front-facing Exchange server, and it will actually enumerate all the user accounts that are there, all the mailboxes, and it will go and select an account and assign the role to get access. So from here, I can do anything on the server. As mentioned previously, I can create a backdoor for future access. I can go and run other exploits. Maybe I find something else on the server. Maybe you've got WinZip installed. Maybe you've got WinRAR installed. Maybe you've got TeamViewer and it's an old version. I can exploit that as well and continuously gain access. Again, performing lateral movement as an attacker to gain enterprise admin or domain admin access to take over your domain. So this is, again, just to make it clear, I have permission to attack the system. It's my own system, but I want you to make you aware of the dangers involved in not patching. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button, and I thank you very much for watching.